Alright, so we're back. So it looks like I was trying to explain the setup I was going for here. So I do want to try and put bedrooms on the top floor, but what I also might do is remove that next floor, maybe put a walkway around the edge, and put the rooms in another wing of the structure. But we'll see what I do eventually. Early game honey here is a very good food source, but you have to do a little bit of exploration to find the beehives. It's pretty easy. Oh, Legolas. Dead-eye shot right there. Ah, damn you, Loki. It's because it's a crooked bow. That's why I missed. The amount of wood you have to farm really depends on the size of base you want to construct. So if you're playing by yourself and you go minimalist, especially early on when you only have stone or flint axes, you go with a very, very small setup, single story, like just a small room and a fireplace, you really don't need to farm much resources at all. For me, if I could build a pyramid, I could actually build a pyramid that was all roof, but I think the roofs are kind of half weak and they don't look that cool. Although, scale roof tiles, maybe a pyramid structure that'd be pretty fucking awesome. They're like a dark color as well. They're like a black color, so they're like a black scale pyramid. We'll see. You'd have to have stone and steel support beams, or whatever they're called. Steel reinforced. Steel or iron reinforced iron beams. We'll have to see when I get there. Hey, that was just a warning shot. Yeah, so right now I'm basically looking at how I need to get to the first boss, Ep3. Ep3? Whatever his name is. How I get to the first boss and whether I should eventually build a bridge across the river. But it's pretty wide. It's probably pointless. And if you don't build it high enough, and it has to be real high, your boats won't be able to pass below it, so I probably won't do that. Hey, fuck. Cut that out of the video. Yeah, so right now I'm just grinding a bit of everything. I always catch any food that I see Whether it's got legs or it's growing out of the ground, I pick it up. When you're in the middle of a forest and there's like 4 of you chopping down trees, it can be quite funny. Because there's just a mass cascade of logs collapsing down everywhere. So dying is very easy in that kind of moment. It's like something out of Final Destination. If you get hit, it was just meant to be. Definitely gets tedious just constantly grinding wood or any particular resource, but like I said, if your aspirations are pretty small, if your desired base is just like a little cottage, a single floor room, you don't need to chop down many trees at all. And you don't need to reshape the landscape a great deal to flatten out the base. Good morning. Another warning shot. Another easy way to collect a whole heap of wood. Ignoring the beehive. Once you have a couple of roads set up, you can drag a cart along with you, and it limits the amount of times you have to return back to base while you're out exploring. You can just fill the cart up and just keep going. I do kind of wish there were more variation in animals in the forest, and or I should say in the meadows, and in grayling enemy types, or just enemy types in general. I don't think that'd be too difficult to do, but I haven't seen Mistlands, and I haven't seen Ashlands yet. But I imagine there are going to be quite a few enemy types there that are specific to that region. Although I guess you do have the invasions that take place every so often that sort of give you access to the enemies of each of the biomes. In other survival type games that are mainly just to do with building a settlement and or a little village or a little town, I do like when you can have NPCs that actually like accomplish tasks or get you a resource. So when you build a base, and a lot of the times the AI can be really janky, like they get stuck somewhere. Like in Fallout 4, where you build structures and you actually see the NPCs going around doing things. I definitely think that's pretty cool. I know this game isn't along those same lines with Valheim, but it would be nice to... I don't know whether you'd build an NPC spawner or you build a structure and they, you know, do like a scripted little wander around the house or the village if you put down a certain type of path or something like that. But it would be kind of nice to flesh out like a little village that you're building, because and I only say that because it specifically talks about, I think, taming the wildlands or building a base and outposts and different things like that. So in actual fact, it's just you building a room for a bed and some storage and everything as you expand out, you know. And then if you get to a new lands, like you go to a swamplands, you either want a base just outside of the swamp, or what I tend to do is get rocks, build up a pillar, kind of like the pillar I built at my main base, but make it like 9 by 9 blocks wide, and build a base on top of that. And then just have like a set of stairs or whatever go up to the top. Then the only enemy type you have to worry about then is the wraiths. Now I don't know how I didn't notice but that was all fucked up, like it didn't actually clip onto the other pole properly. Or I did notice and I didn't care, I just like... Because I had no feelings about it as I was setting it all up. Because I assumed I would move it a lot sooner, but I haven't really developed my cultivation yet of any crops. Which is something you need to get in the Black Forest, but I'm talking about like currently, I've put that off. I've just been grinding wood, fine wood especially. Now at this time, I think I was trying to collect coal in case I needed to put some signs on the chests, but I didn't end up bothering with any of that. Not for a while, anyway. I was trying to work out what the hell was going on there, but there's a fucking rock. Would be cool as well if you could build an actual freezer that has like frost ruins on it. But that would change how the game actually plays in general if you had magic ruins. Because then you'd have to have heating ruins and, which you could do with certain cores, but I don't know how you would do freezing ruins. Maybe with enough for the Drake freeze glands or whatever they're called. So that noise you can hear every so often is either a skeleton spawning at the at like the little burial marker over near the ruin, south of the base, like following the coast. Or I have a feeling the boar pigs are attacking the honeycombs, the beehives, and being killed by the bees, because I have seen the dwarves attacking the beehives and getting killed by them, or at least getting poisoned. Storage usually ends up becoming a problem. I don't know whether I'm building too many storage boxes. I know later on in the end game, or where I'm up to anyway, in the snow biome, that you end up needing a lot of storage. But that is playing with other people on a server, so maybe I only need like 1/4 of the storage? I don't think so though. So what I'm building right here is I'm taking a ruined structure that was already here and refurbishing it for a little hunting shack. As you can see by my inventory, I've been out here collecting and hunting. And this way I can just pass the night straight away without heading all the way back. Hey, look at that headshot. Spot on. Hey, fuck. That was a warning shot. There is kind of like an immersive relaxation you sort of need to get into in survival games, like when you're collecting the resources or you're just wandering around hunting. You kind of need to be able to go to your happy place. Otherwise, it'll just drive you up the wall. And you'll end up going back to Call of Duty fucking 9 or 10 or whatever the fuck they're up to now. Playing the same couple of maps over and over and over again. Big Barbie going on here. That's another benefit to playing with other people or playing with your friends is if one person likes going out hunting and just shooting animals or whatever, and then they just bring back the resources and leave again, it gives the person who's around the base, building the base, or, you know, whoever's there at the time, the bulk raw resources to use the cauldron and make whatever potions they need or whatever meads. Well, there we go. Pretty much done. Looks much more neat and organized than if you were to just try and line all those chests up on a set of shelves. Doesn't really matter that much, but it's like you can put signs on it now, and the aesthetics is a little bit better. Now we're finally starting to look like a Viking instead of a peasant. There you go. Yeah, so I often forget to click the style button for these shields. It's only for a few shields that you can do it though, so I think all the ore-based shields are just, you know, the whatever the metal type of metal is that you're using for the shield. Most of the people that I've checked out have done the red and black. It's just the coolest looking combination of colors. I'm going to keep these wood shields for later and use them as plates or trays for food. But that's for a different video. Yeah, it was pretty easy to max out. So at this point, the next set of upgrades are asking for, yeah, and this is just checking out my character, are basically asking for bones. And you can only get the bones from like the skeletons and I think one or two other enemies. Bones can be hard to come across because they're only in certain places, like the burial chamber and well, any location that spawns skeletons. So outside the burial chamber, a couple of little tomb stone sort of setups. I don't know what they're actually called. I guess they're just a tombstone location. Anyway, so coming across bones is a bit more difficult, and by the time you have a lot of bones on you, you're basically wearing bronze armor. So at this point, once you have this set of armor, which is very easy to get to, it just took me so long because I'm grinding for a big base, like a multiplayer sized base. Once you get to this point, you're pretty much good to go. Like you can easily go kill the first Forsaken boss. It's time to move my bed. I can't have my head resting right where the chopping block is. That's just asking for execution. Nighttime assassination. So at this point, I'm just doing the rounds around my base before I leave and trying to work out exactly what I want to do. So I want to build like a big dock that comes out the front. But that's kind of going to have to wait till the Iron Age, till I've got stone, and sort of build a big front. And I can raise the terraform the ground, raise the ground out to the shore, and then build the base larger into the front, like extended into the front to the seashore, and put a big fence around this back area as my small or starting farm. But like we discussed early on, the way that river goes around as a natural moat, I will use that eventually, and that will be the free land that's just going to have trees and all that kind of stuff, and like a pig pen and a few other things. But essentially, I need iron to build the stone cutting table to then be able to put stone walls all the way around. And I will make the walls curved as much as possible without it looking too shoddy. You know, because everything's in a square block form. Yeah, so now it's time to go kill a god. Or at least the Forsaken. Fucker. See how he's shunting me along in the water? That is a real big danger in the swamp. So not only can you get belted back into the water, where you're swimming and you can't defend yourself, but you've got leeches in there attacking you as well. So if you go into the swamp unprepared and not knowing what kind of enemies there are, just crossing a small little river like I did there ends up being a death sentence. And it is, yeah, fairly easy to get into a death loop in the swamp because there's such a high number of enemies. You need the poison resist potions, and you essentially need a second set of armor. You can sprint through there and pick things up, but if you've been harvesting resources and your inventory's all fucked up, and when you right click to equip your armor, it starts like a walking animation. Yeah, it's easy to get yourself in trouble. Not to mention if you stay out too late and wraiths silently descend upon you while you're fighting your way back to your base, and you get jumped. So yeah, I thought that would take 3 to 4 trophies, but it only took 2. So here we go, here's the first Forsaken boss. And one of the coolest bosses, I reckon. Ep3. So initially I was a little bit unsure, I was a bit cautious and unsure about how much damage this guy's actually going to do to me and how hard it is to fight him because it had been so long. Like the lightning attacks and the lightning effects is just, they're just so fucking awesome. The thunder and lightning in the background, it is just so cool, this boss fight. And so far the other ones that I've done haven't really been as cool as this one fight. And as you can see, with basically just decent gear, that you'll get up to this point anyway, it's not really that tough. Now, if you go and fight this guy straight away when you're wearing rags, like you're wearing nothing basically, it is just devastating. Especially if you're using like just some clubs and whatever, all level 1. It can be difficult to close distance with this guy every so often. So yeah, that was pretty easy really. But it looked cool, like the actual boss looks so cool, the environmental effects were so cool. So I'm thinking about whether I should just do him again to get more antlers, because I don't know whether I'm going to need the antlers again. And one of the weapons you can make is a stag breaker. And I don't recall whether that's trophies or whether that's using this guy's antlers. Could be both. Wrong memory. So I figure, hey, that was pretty easy. I'll summon him again. And then I'll go right on the offensive. I'm just too eager to attack this guy, and I'm just swinging wildly. This fight here did kind of make me want to play Elden Ring. It's on my list of games to play, but you know, there goes fucking like 180 hours or whatever. And I'm definitely keen to finish this game, of seeing as I've only gotten up to the swamp, or the snow biome, I should say. I need to go back to the swamp in my game because I can't find enough sunken crypts. It's kind of a catch-22 as well, because if you sprint to try and keep up with this guy, you're going to burn your stamina. Then you're going to melee attack once or twice, and then you're out of stamina. So you have to be conservative with your movement. Such a cool enemy. It is a shame I couldn't just tame him and then put a saddle on him. Ride him into battle. So now we can finally build a pickaxe and start dealing with the rock that's in around the base. Coming through the floorboards. Yeah, so I was double checking to see whether I could upgrade this thing, but no, it's a one-time deal. So at this stage here, there's nothing to do but head into the Black Forest and try and find a good location for a base. Set up my first set of forges and furnaces, or furnace and smelter. Or is it kiln? It's a kiln. Stone kiln for making coal, and then the smelter or furnace for making the ores, or smelting the ore into a bar. Pretty certain they call it a furnace. Yeah, it's time to clean up now. Hey, that was a warning shot. Warning shot number 2. And then, I mean, I warned him twice. If he's still going to stay there, I'm going to have to kill him. So that's the first power. Probably the best power so far. Or if not the best power, because the stamina boost, or basically being able to run and jump more, allows you to run the fuck away from situations. So if you're being chased by a troll or, you know, a horde of enemies, well, if you can trigger the power fast enough, otherwise you do your little power activation thing and then they're right on top of you and you're dead. So, personally, it's the best so that you can just roach out or run straight away out of the situation. Right now I'm trying to work out which side of the river I want to go up on and where I would end up building the roads, because you want to have access to water for a ship in case you need to build a little port base to move ore and resources. But building a bridge is cool and all, easy enough to do, but if you ever need to bring a boat through there, you need to jump out, break the bridge, and go through. It's happened before. Would have happened to everyone who's built a bridge. And if you want to build a bridge high enough, it can be very difficult unless you have core wood and, you know, obviously with stone it'd be so much easier, but if you have core wood and you build the ground up using the raised terrain tool, you build the terrain up as high as you can, the 8 meters or whatever, and then slowly taper that down for your little ramp to come up, wooden ramp. Your dirt ramp, and then you build the bridge at that maximum 8 meters height, or however high it's going to go. Then you can actually get your boats under it, because the central mast, is just way too tall. So basically, that stone structure there would be a decent base because it's right near the river, right near where I would build a road, and it's one of the more completed stone towers, because you can find the ones that are like half or just the foundation or half collapsed. And you can easily build into them and build the roof and everything, but if you have a full stone tower, it's pretty much perfect because you just go straight to the top, build a roof, and then you're good. And only a troll is going to come and smash that tower down. So you put some defenses around the tower and you don't have any cares in the world. There's a big copper deposit there. Yeah, you can see a troll cave down the river. Getting jumped by the gang as I fucking roll up into their neighborhood. Grey dwarves. Now I didn't know. I just thought they were like tree people or whatever. Until you read the rune stones, and the rune stones basically tell the story how what those creatures are is essentially. The fuck is this cunt doing? Is he eating something off the ground, or is he doing something a bit sus? Like eating off the ground animation or some shit. I'm trying to work out whether I fight this guy or keep going. And I'm pretty confident after killing that boss and building the arrows and everything like that, upgrading the crude bow, that I can probably kill this dude. Yeah, so the origin of the Grey Dwarves is like a murderer who's been buried, and then their evil like seeps into the ground, and the ground, like the roots and the fucking stone and the sap, get twisted and create like an evil corpse for them to inhabit, or create an evil creature out of their corpse. So it's kind of like a revenant, but it's instead of basically the person refusing to move on and becoming a monster, it's they've died and their evil energy that's in their body has created an evil being. Now it's time to get the hell out of there. They soak up so much damage. And that stone can actually, like, I think it two-shots you early on. And down they go. It's pretty easy. But if they get the jump on you when you're mining or you're chopping wood and your stamina is already pretty much down low, then that's when they're the most dangerous. So those are carrot seeds. Pretty valuable. You need carrots to tame the boar pigs. So I can see this tower up on the hill. It's clearly, well, it looks like a complete tower. So it's definitely going to be a great base. I'm letting that one get away. So there's the troll cave. Within the cave will be another troll and some loot. Gold and amber pearls, some amber and the red, the ruby, the crystal, whatever it's called. Pretty certain it's ruby. Those thistles are used in recipes for potions and different foods. Once you've got the cauldron. So yeah, it's a perfect tower, this one. And with the entrance facing the other way, it's kind of like pretty well set up too. The enemies need to come around near the cliff edge to try and get in. Yeah, now I just need to manage my inventory, find out where I'm going to put this fireplace and a bed and a crafting table. So running into an elite at this stage is a little dangerous, but it's only a couple of grey dwarves with him. It's not too bad. The way they scatter and run around does kind of juke you though, because they're just like putting the step on. Well, you're trying to take them down, and with low stamina at this early stage, if there was double the number of grey dwarves, I'd basically have to leave. So now we pretty much have our first outpost, and it's in a perfect location. Apart from the height difference between here and the river, getting down the river is very easy, obviously, but going up if you're pulling a cart full of ore is going to be tough. So when I do get to that stage, I will have to build a little road that goes following the river back around and then up the hill, which isn't much of a detour, but yeah, it is what it is. The heavier the cart is, the harder it is to move. So I'm going to call this episode here. We basically have a base set up. Catch you guys next time. Peace out.